So what's up you guys, Dionysius here, welcome to the Midas Touch, where I hope to help you make sense of every dollar. If you find that today's video is a bit familiar, you are not wrong. I am re-recording my CPF video because of how badly it was done the previous time. And in today's video, I would like to talk about CPF, but before I continue with today's video, here is a photo of a disclaimer. I also want to take this chance to ask you to smash the thumbs up button below to encourage me to continue making such videos for you. Here are some of the questions to tackle so that we can find out more about CPF. First, what is the CPF? It is the Central Provident Fund and is a way to help Singaporean citizens and permanent residents to set aside funds for retirement. The money is from you and for your future. Second, what is CPF made of? There are three accounts in the CPF. The CPF OA or the ordinary account, the CPF SA or the special account, and the CPF MA, which is the MediSave account. If you are older than 55, you will have one more account, which is the CPF RA or the retirement account. Third question, I know that we contribute money to the CPF, but how much do we contribute? It depends on two factors: if you're self-employed or you're employed, and depending on your age. If you're employed, here is the contribution rate. The contribution is the sum of your contribution and your employer's contribution. If you are self-employed, you only have to contribute to your MA. That's provided if your net trade income is more than $6,000 a year. And here are the contribution rate for different age group. 4. What are the allocation rate? For self-employed, 100% goes into the MA. For employed, it depends on your age. And here are the allocation rate based on the different ages. 5. What can CPF be used for? Here are the things that you can do with your CPF OA. First, paying for your housing. Second, investing. 3, buying into insurance through the dependent protection scheme. And 4th, education. For your CPF SA is primarily used for retirement, but you can also invest it, just that you have a limited number of choice. And lastly, CPF MA, where you can use it to pay for your hospitalization and healthcare insurance. 6th question, what is the interest rate? The interest rate generally changes over time, but as of the August of 2022, if you're younger than 55, the CPF OA gives you 2.5%, additional 1% if you have less than $20,000 inside. The CPF SA and MA gives you 4% and additional 1% if you have less than $40,000 inside. Do note that the additional 1% for the OA and SA would all go into your CPF SA. Meanwhile, if you're older than 55, do refer to these infographics over here. It is really hard for me to communicate it verbally. 7. What is the BHS? It stands for the Basic Healthcare Sum, where this amount is actually adjusted annually to keep pace with inflation. In 2022, it is at $66,000. It is essentially the maximum amount of money that you can keep inside your CPF MA. So if you have been working for a very long time already, we will have definitely hit this amount, meaning that your monthly contribution from your salary would be flowing to your SA. Question 8. This one very long. What is the BRS, FRS, and ERS? The BRS stands for the Basic Retirement Sum, which is at $96,000 as of 2022 and is meant to cover basic lifestyle expenses. If you have a property in Singapore, which has a lease that will last you until 95 years old, you can choose to just set aside the BRS amount from your CPF OA and SA. More on that later. It will be important for us to know how much money we can withdraw from our CPF at 55 years old. Meanwhile, the FRS is 2 times of the BRS and it is at $192,000 as of 2022. The amount here is meant to cover for rental on top of the basic living expenses. If you do not have a property, you would have to set aside this FRS amount. Meanwhile, the ERS is the Enhanced Retirement Sum, which is at 3 times of BRS at $288,000 as of 2022. It is meant for people who want a higher payout, and these three figures would be adjusted every year to cater for inflation. Knowing this helps us to answer question 9, which is how much money can I withdraw from my CPF at 55 years old? Let's have a scenario. If you're 55 now and have a property with a lease that can last until you're 95 years old, you can withdraw the amount in your CPF OA and SA above the BRS. If you are 55 years old and do not have a property that fulfills that criteria, you can withdraw $5,000 or the sum from your OA and SA combined above the FRS, whichever higher. Hope you find that today's video will be useful for you to answer some of your questions. Do watch out for the next video, as I will be answering the second level question for CPF, like the amount of tax savings that you can receive, how is the CPF interest rate derived, investing your CPF, and the voluntary housing refund. So do comment down below if you want me to answer some of them. And if you want to find out more about this awesome movement known as 1M65, which uses the attractive 4% interest rate from CPF to achieve 1 million at 65 years old, you can watch this video over here. And if you like my content today, do smash the thumbs up button below for the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you and see you next video.